Additive arrangement. The concept of adding layers as the song moves along is probably one of the most important tools in the musician's toolbox. I will demonstrate this with a few examples, and then we'll try writing a short song based on these findings. In Stairway to Heaven, you can already hear how Led Zeppelin starts off with the beautiful yet simple guitar. Then they add a flute melody just up top, and finally the voice of Robert Plant singing gently.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying Stairway to Heaven.
Even with only 3 parts added, 1 part added each time, we're anticipating more within the song. Usually by the 1 minute mark, we're expecting choruses and hooks, but here the song has caught our attention and is easing us slowly towards making us want just a little bit more. One of the benefits of layering the music in this way is that if you want to get to a point with all of these layers at one go, like the big crescendo, you can't always be blasting the listener with a wall of sound from the start. Adding a layer at each time creates a narrative for the listener and gets their ears used to each previous instrument. After a little bit, with the time, playing each like a combined instrument set, so we have 3 instruments playing all at once, creating a beautiful sound. Then we only add 1 more bit on top. We really then appreciate the final instrument instead of adding 3 at one go. Otherwise, there'd be too many new sounds added in one go, essentially. Here we can see, in this example, in Stairway to Heaven, there'll be a drum fill, and then the drums are added, and then we really appreciate what the drums are doing up top. Otherwise we wouldn't really be thinking about the drums so obviously. It would be more of a combined effect.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alone there. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen.
Doing the opposite of slowly layering each part on top of each other, we get the opposite effect, essentially. Similar to Bulls on a Parade by Rage Against the Machine. They're blasting us with high energy, with a great sound. The tone is set from the start. You have a very emotional blast, and it works great for punk and protest songs. But in this case, we're working on each layer on top. So what Led Zeppelin is doing with the additive arrangement is getting you to listen to the whole 8-minute plus song by adding 1 bit at a time, slowly building up to a crescendo at the end. When you reach the end, here the emotional payoff is amazing. You have been taken on the whole journey from start to the end, and each added instrument is adding a little bit of energy. It's growing and growing until you get the full energy at the end with the vocals blasting off, and this is essentially when you get the hairs on your arms standing up because you've really appreciated it. So at the end of Stairway to Heaven, you have acoustic guitar, electric guitar, keyboard, flute, drums, bass, and the powerful vocals. And if you imagine skipping right to the end bit immediately, you wouldn't be prepared for all the sounds, your ear wouldn't be ready. Unless you've been listening to the song over the years many, many times, you kind of know what to expect. But you would still not get the payoff from feeling the whole growth in the narrative of the song. And you would also not get to appreciate each new layer being slowly added as it kind of teasing you forward. And it's kind of like a puzzle piece. You're adding each piece together until you have the whole thing combined, and then you really get to appreciate it at the end. And I feel like this is why additive layering is so powerful. And every musician uses it to a degree in the music. You just have to keep an ear out for the structure of the music that you listen to. So many times songs will have the 4-bar guitar start, then they'll add a bass and add some drums, and then eventually the vocals, and you end up in a chorus, and this kind of process repeats itself. You get your own peak, and then it drops down. This is just focusing on layering, so it can be enhanced by playing around with the sounds and the volumes and the energy you play it at, and like syncopation and any other effects. But please mention any other songs that you feel like do this well, because I'd love to hear it myself, and it would be great if people could share it with other people. I think like Alt J by Breeze Blocks does it pretty well. They do this whole slowly layering to the top. The chorus is super powerful, and then you drop down quietly, and it builds up each layer and each layer, and then it kind of repeats itself, I think 4 or 5 times within the song, and then it keeps you engaged throughout the whole song. Instead of Stairway to Heaven, it keeps you engaged by building it all the way to the end. Breeze Blocks kind of does it like 4 or 5 times. Similar to even in house music or drum and bass, there's usually a wonderful beat playing in the background. Well, it's not in the background, but it's the wonderful beat, and drums and bass are essentially playing. Then there's a new sound being added, or a couple different sounds eventually, but then they kind of disappear. And then you add a new sound, and you kind of get to play with how each new sounds over this beat that you're finding enjoyable. And that's how you get really long songs that are like quite exciting to listen to. It's basically playing with layering and how the melody works, which with each kind of beat, it's super, super enjoyable in that sense, how that would work. Now I'm going to give kind of a go at it myself, with one measure for each instrument, kind of layering it up top. And then I'll be able to cut to the end, and then we can see how it feels like. But yeah, thank you for listening and watching.